Oh, hello. If you click this video, that means you are interested about your spirituality. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. How we can express our spirituality through our talents. But before we do that, we have to first learn what is spirituality.
Any talent that we possess are all gift from God and Jesus Christ. But how can we use our talent to express our spirituality? So let's understand what is spirituality. Spirituality is inherent in everything. Our spirituality includes something that moves or reflects our spirit. Our faith pervades every part of our personal and professional life in some way. It is woven through and articulated by every thought, feeling, and action we may have. Spirituality has a lot of different meaning. Any of them will aid in the comprehension of this important yet enigmatic aspect of life. It is to have a relationship with what we cannot see physically. In Christian understanding of spirituality, a spirituality experience in Christianity assumes as its foundation that personal relationship with Christ exists. It further signifies spiritual interaction as a result of the relationship and make it known to those that practice it that there is a being who created all living things. It is to understand that we see and how we live is a result of a divine action. To understand is to have that relationship with God and other non-physical aspects of life.
There are three types of spiritualities: spirituality of truth, of mercy, and of communion. Let us first talk about truth. What is the spirituality of truth? Truth is a word that is timeless. How do we use truth to be able to put it into our spirituality? How do we identify a truth? If we find an idea or concept seen in or practiced by many different cultures across time or across different time periods, it's likely true as it follows the definition of intersubjectivity and credibility. These have stood the test of time and can be called truths. They have a universal character and apply to all people during all times. Across all cultures, these truths can be found in all cultures and all languages. Examples include reaping and sowing of karma, the golden rule, the universalism, love, and many others. The second spirituality is the spirituality of mercy. Spirituality of mercy, as stated by Catherine Macaulay, is the spiritual and corporal works of mercy which draw religious from a life of contemplation so far from separating them from the love of God, unite them more closely to Him, and render them more valuable in His holy service. Under the spirituality of mercy, there are 7 works. These are called the 7 spiritual works of mercy. The first one will be to instruct the ignorant. Here, as it is said, to instruct is to teach, and the ignorant are those who don't know as much as the others. So as a Christian, it is our duty to be able to make disciples out of others. To do this, you have to first learn about your own religion well. You have to learn about the spirituality of Christianity in its fullest and really understand what it means to be a Christian and what it means to be spiritual, especially in the eyes of God. So after this, you can then teach it to others who don't know God and who don't know Christ. And the best way to teach is by example. The second spiritual work of mercy is to counsel the doubtful. We all experience doubts. It is normal, we are humans, and we still will experience them. But as Christians, it is our job to be able to help those who are doubtful, especially about their faith in God. You are supposed to help them regain their confidence and make them feel safe and reassured that they are not alone because we are with them and we are there to help them and to counsel them. The third is to admonish the sinner. We cannot judge, but we have our part in telling people whether what they are doing will harm them or others around them. And to admonish the sinner is to not tell them that we know everything or that we are right, but rather to tell them that they can do something better about what they are already doing, so that it can help lift everyone up instead of bringing others down.
Number 4. To bear wrongs patiently. Here our pride is the culprit, and revenge the temptation. The words of Jesus, turn the other cheek, ring out, but that is not easy to do. And I think it is sometimes harder to endure wrongs and to be patient with hardship when someone is doing harm to our children or grandchildren. Number 5. To forgive offenses willingly. This work of mercy is inseparably bound with the patient endurance of wrongdoing. Forgiveness takes time, and even though one does not feel completely at peace with the other, the desire to forgive is the beginning of the road to full forgiveness. What helps me to forgive another is the promise from the Lord Jesus, as many times as you forgive others. Number 6. To comfort the afflicted. There are times when we see someone going through a bad time and we can take it away from him or from her. Our words are inadequate and our actions pointless. All we can do is silently walk with him or in her in love and prayer. To pray for the living and the dead. Clearly, the most important part of any work of mercy, be it spiritual or corporal, is prayer. Prayer that seeks to unite us to God changes the physical act of feeding the poor into a spiritual act that does good to another and gives God the glory. What is the spirituality of communion? Spiritual communion is trust and awareness, a prayer and an acceptance that God's love is really present. When we accept Jesus, as we witness the sacramental reality of Holy Communion, even when we can only be as present as our television screen allows.
How will we be able to convey our understanding of spirituality to others and encourage dialogue? There are certain values we need in order to have dialogue with others who have different beliefs or practices. We need to be respectful above all. To respect one is to also earn respect, but this shows equal treatment from both sides. Another is to be courteous or polite. We must not be defensive when one has an opposing view towards our own. Learning to politely understand them makes the conversation peaceful. Let us to be open-minded. We should know that people will have different views due to diversity and cultural differences. Hence, being flexible or open-minded will help lessen conflicts and instead make you gain friends and dialogue, so that time that you do convey your understanding of spirituality, others will respect you and listen to what have to say. What are the ways in which the Christian spirituality can be shared in culture, religion, and the poor? One way is by practicing our Christianity, which is to live according to God's commands to love Him above all and to love our neighbor as ourselves. We can show our love for our neighbor by practicing the spiritual works of mercy. This accommodates how we can share it in religion. To share it in culture, we can integrate our Christian practices into our nation's culture, which everyone is already doing when they attend church every Sunday, pray before each meal, or ask help for guidance, or even when we choose to help someone in need without asking for any return. To share it to the poor, we can do this by having donation events, giving away food, having interactions with the poor communities, and teaching them about God through Christian themes activities that edify and strengthen their spirituality.